sunny. Good morning, good morning. This is really going to be quick. This is what I'm calling a Monday checkup. For those of you who don't know about my Monday inspirations and just motivating you to change your mood. Don't allow the day to dictate your mood, dictate your attitude. And so one of the things I did this morning is when I get in the car, before I get ready to go to work, I put on some inspirational music. So usually my go-to is Erica Campbell and Inspiration Mornings here in Richmond, and she comes on every radio station. And really that just helped me to get my mind focused on positive things I have to do. First of all, being thankful for another day. And so like I mentioned in my last broadcast, just putting your mind on God and thanking Him for this day that He has made and allow us to exist in the land of the living. And then your focus becomes focused on God's word. It gets focused on your purpose. That is the other thing. Mind your purpose. And I'm going to do a whole broadcast on minding your purpose when I continue my talk that I never got a chance to continue when I was talking about single women and idle time and finding ways to distract your mind so you don't end up engaging in negative behavior because you're bored or you're lonely. And a lot of times our thoughts carry us away from the things that are important, and you find yourself in some troublesome situation because you allow that thought to take you away, and now you're acting out in some kind of way, and usually it may be misbehavior or something like that because you allow that negative those negative voices to come and infiltrate your mind, or the enemy starts talking to you and you start focusing on those thoughts that become your focus. So one of the strategies I like to use is minding my purpose. Like, get my mind on, okay, what is my purpose for not only today but this week? What am I working on? And so it is important. Of course, you're going to have to start from the beginning if you hadn't got to that point where you know what your purpose is. Doing that whole self-identity thing, finding out who you are, what God has given you to do in the earth, and then focusing on that, putting your mind on your purpose. And so when you start doing things like that, you don't even have time for a lot of other stuff because you have something to do every day, and daily you can write down your action plans, your action steps. What am I going to do today to get me further towards my purpose and my goal and my destiny? And make sure they align with the purpose that God has on your life. Now, of course, we have those great desires that we want to do, and that's fine. But you always want to check in with God. You always want to check in to make sure that what you're doing lines up with His purpose for you, so there's no conflict. Because what happens when there's conflict and you start focusing more on your stuff, you forget about God's purpose, and then it's just you. And then when things happen, unfortunately, sometimes it takes those type of incidents to bring us back to the beginning. And thank God because He is merciful. He is full of grace. Sometimes we do deter, not knowing that we deter, and He bring us right back. But we can avoid that, however, if we stay in tune. And so one of the ways to get me focused and in tune is putting on some inspirational, some gospel music, something, because it makes you feel good. It releases those good endorphins, and you just start feeling great, and you're not thinking about things that might have happened over the weekend. You're not thinking about, oh God, today is Monday. So what is Monday? Thank God, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I shall rejoice and I shall be glad in it. So that's not only a scriptural affirmation, it's the word. And not only that, it's just giving God praise. That changes your attitude. Praise changes your mindset. It positions you for purpose. It positions you for positive opportunities to happen. You welcome goodness in, and so one of the other things I like to do is the deep breathing. Even if it's just 3 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and you get to relax and you get to calm down, and then you get to think, and then your creative juices start to flow, thus starting new ideas, new inventions, new connections. You just never know where that will lead you to. So get in the practice of doing that. I have gotten into the practice, and I have to remind myself to always do that. Do the deep breathing. That's why it's not good to rush. I know some days we are rushing. There's days sometimes I am rushing to work because it might be some extra unfinished business I have to take care of Monday morning or any other day of the week. And so sometimes you're going to rush, but try to get in the habit of not rushing. So this way you can take your time when you get to work. You don't have to jump right in to even if you have your own business, you don't have to jump right in to that daily activity or task that you have to do. You can sit down for a moment. You can breathe. And so what I like to do is breathe in, hold it in for 5, 7, and 10 seconds, counting. One of the powerful things about counting when you're holding in your breath is that you're focusing on the numbers. And see, that takes your mind off of any negative thought that you have because you're counting. And so you're concentrating on counting at 1, 2, 3 in your mind while you're breathing. So you don't have time to focus on anything else. So now you bring yourself into focus on the breathing. Do it about 3 times at least, minimum. And I'm telling you, you feel a difference. You start to relax. And then you can think about what it is you have to do for the rest of the day. So I just wanted to drop those little few strategies, the deep breathing, focusing on things that are positive, listening to some good spiritual music, whatever lifts you up. Whatever music lifts you up, and it's usually going to be something positive or inspirational. It could be some good love songs, whatever. It brings out the good feeling. You don't want nothing to make you sad. So if you just got going through a breakup, don't put on any songs that's going to make you cry unless you haven't released your emotions and you need to release that, because that is a part of healing. First, acknowledging that you're hurting, releasing those hurtful emotions. It's very cathartic for you to do that. Listen to something or somebody to help you release and acknowledge those feelings, because I think it's very important. Sometimes we don't allow people to acknowledge their feeling and their pain. And so they bottle it up inside. And so that's suffering internally, which also brings on physical ailments. And so you need to do that, please, by all means. But don't stay there. There's a time for everything. Release that. But then find something to lift you back up, to help you to feel good, to give you a new focus. And so I think that is so important. Our mental health, our psychological, our spiritual well-being is so important. So I hope that I was able to drop something that seems, something that's great for you to incorporate in your day, that maybe you haven't tried before. A lot of people don't do the deep breathing. We hear about it all the time and we don't really realize the benefits of it. But because I practice it, I notice the difference. Even when I get up, I don't jump right out of the bed. That is not good for you. That's not good for your heart. Because I've done that sometime in the past and I would feel a little dizzy, or I see them little stars, we call stars, going around, or feel a little lightheaded. So sometimes I have to sit down. So I've learned that it's not healthy to always jump right up out of bed. I sit up, take a few moments. And what I usually do, which is good, could be helpful to somebody, I set my alarm clock early enough that if I need to give myself another 5 minutes on the alarm, I'll set the alarm another 5 minutes. But it'll give me a chance to take my time getting up and not jumping up. And so I'll turn it off and I'll reset it for another 5 or 10 minutes. But at that moment, I'm sitting up. So I'm gradually waking up. I'm gradually getting up. I'm not jumping up. And then when the alarm goes off again, then I get up, I turn it off, and then I do what I have to do to get ready for the day. So that's another thing. Take your time. Take your time. Remember that song? So take your time. So get into the habit of not rushing to do everything. You don't want that to be a pattern every day of your life. You're rushing. You need to check that, because there's some issues there. You're always rushing. So you need to maybe do something different. Maybe you need to take your shower the night before if you're taking it in the morning. There's little things that you can do to make life easier. When things are more organized, when you have some kind of structure system, no, you can't live by it every day because life just doesn't work that way. But if you have something in place, like a system, a certain structure that helps you, you find that life is easier. It's good when things are organized and you know where the socks are. You know where certain files are in your house, because it's easy to find because you've taken out the time to organize. So, learn from those people who are more organized than you. I did that. I have people that they're anal. And so I can learn from those type of friends that I have, or family members, because of that anal type of personality. They're very organized. They know where things are. It helps them to function. And so I'm in between. I'm like, I like things to be organized, but it's not always every T crossed and every I dotted all the time. I have times where, okay, things may get a little bit displaced, but at the end of the week or someday, I'll set aside, I'm organizing everything back. I'm putting everything back in order. because I know that it makes life easier. I feel better. It's great to know where things are. I did a broadcast you can find on YouTube called Get Rid of the Junk Drawer. And I kind of talked about the pathology of that. Not really so much it can be a pathology for some people, because it could be an indicator of something else going on eternally, but I'm not going to go into that right now. However, I talked about how a lot of times in a lot of our families, we got there's always this drawer or a closet full of nothing but junk. It's chaotic. It's a bunch of chaos. And so I talked about how my mother and a lot of other people, everybody, just about everybody's house, I remember growing up, had a drawer that just got everything in there. Matches, paper, napkins, pens, all kinds of stuff in there. And I said, I don't want to do that. But I thought about the junk drawer, and I said, that's chaotic, because you're trying to find something. You get that phone call, you need to jot down a number, and you can't find a pen or paper. That's frustrating. So it brings frustration when you're out of order and things are not organized. So no, you may not have everything organized, but certain things you want to have organized that are important to you. That makes life easier too. It makes your day easier. So do that over the weekend. Monday start, new fresh beginnings. Things are organized. That's something you can do. So that's some now work for some of you. I know we have homework, but I'm calling it now work. Something you can incorporate, and you can do something different. I often say to many friends, family, and clients, sometimes if you've been doing something the same way all the time and you're not getting any new results, that is considered insanity. So you need to do something different. And then things will be different. You will manifest different outcomes. So how about trying this, or how about trying that, and give it a try? Don't knock everything. Just try something. I know it's uncomfortable sometimes coming out of your comfort zone or doing something that's unfamiliar, but we need to do that. When you get to being sick and tired of the same routine and a mundane type of day or activity or whatever behavior, you have to change it up. So learn from other people who are doing it better than you are, and you admire them because of that. Learn from each other. It's a village out here. Anyway, you be inspired. You have a great Monday. Have a great week. Do something different, something that lifts you up. So focus on keeping your spirit lifted, keeping yourself motivated, inspired, nurtured, cultivated, all of that stuff. So whatever it takes for you to experience that type of transformation, do that. Do something different, because you can still get your life back.
You can still get your life back. Get your life back. It's real. Get your life back. Get your life back.
I'll see you again.